Okay, so come back to the new file update. So this is basically just an update in the interface. So if previously, whenever we want to create our own templates, so our or copy and paste our customized template, we have to go through application options or to locate the root location or root folder for all these template files, paste it there. But now what we can do is from the create new file, we can just click on the top right hand side, click over there, and then it will open all the our default locations. So we don't have to browse for the locations anymore. Okay, so this is very useful if you're someone like me who always work with a customized template. Okay, so like you see on the left hand side, that is basically my screenshot, my own screenshot, that I have a lot of template from multiple standards and countries. Okay, so to add that, I need to go through and create all these standard files, which is quite troublesome if we need to locate one by one. Okay, but now we can do straight away from the create new files dialog box. Okay, that is very, very easy to use now. So when we talk about graphics, so graphic updates. So if previously dark theme is already available, but it's not as default, but now it come out as default. Okay, so you also have access to color scheme. Okay, color scheme sketch line. You can see graphical elements. You have access to the thin line, as you can see on the right hand side. Okay, you can control the thin line colored, selected line colored. So you have more access or more control over lines, or in easy way to explain it is something like a layer in AutoCAD. So basically every edges, every line you click, it will have its own color and identity. Okay, so dialog box. So this is what I said earlier. So if previously I need to go to application options and always configure default template button, and then I need to configure my default template and then create my own template. But now in 2026, on the right hand side, you can see if we are looking for something and we're not sure where is it, you already have a search box where you can just type in and look for what we wanted. So let's say I wanted to look for some property related. So I just type in property. So if I need something like a content center related, I just type in content center. So I don't have to scroll by one or browse one by one to look for the locations. Okay, so now we go next to the next pillar, which is the part modeling. Okay, so for part modeling, so the updates that is been inserted into 2026 is one of it is shell. Okay, so the kind of updates that's been created or given for this 2026 version is they consolidate some of the commands into, in this case, into the same tab. So there are no longer two tabs for this. Now we only have one tab with two types of shell. You can see here, previously we have two tabs, okay? And then followed by pattern command, where this pattern command has been modernized a bit. So it's a little bit different now. Okay, so it's incorporating the property panel interface and the workflows. So basically you can follow from top to bottom for the steps. Okay, you can access the command directly from the toolbar, or you can switch the pattern type in the tool palettes directly from the property panel. Okay, starting with this release, right? So you can arrange your pattern with irregular distance. So irregular distance meaning is you can give different distance between one entity and another. So it doesn't have to be uniform, so it can be different measurements. Okay, so you can use the irregular distance or irregular angles in the property panel to add the members. You can see now the irregular angles. So if everything is 20 degrees, you can add one or two to make it like 22 degrees. Okay, so you don't have to be uniform. So that is one of the updates. If previously we need to do it by two steps, so now it can be done within one step or one features. Okay, So for the next part is the simplify for parts. Okay, so what we can do here is the simplify command can now be accessed from the part environments, okay, from the 3D model tab simplification. If previously only available from the assembly, but now it's available in parts. So you can use simplify command to reduce the content within parts. Okay, so like this part like looks very complex. You can simplify it, just remain all the necessary inlet, outlet, okay, to make it more light, and so that you don't have to send or share the whole complete models to probably your third parties, or maybe you are sending your components to the Revit modeler as a Revit family something. Okay, so you can simplify your parts this way. Okay, so next. So you can, okay, so what we have here now is live preview. So there are 4 options to select and replace components. One of it is none, where the options you are not using envelopes. Okay, you can select the whole parts. You can create the whole envelopes like you see on the right hand side. This is by envelope. Basically, it's just covering up everything, just giving one representations as an envelope. Okay, or we can use each body or selected body to remain. Now, sheet metal. So sheet metal have some extensive improvements. Okay, so there are some changes, a lot of changes in these 3 main features: contour flange, corner round, and punch tool. Okay, so basically what Autodesk did was they simplified the user interface, streamline the workflows a little bit, so you can now directly manipulate the shapes or the executions on the fly. Okay, you can also get the realistic or on-the-spot preview. Okay, so let's the video explain itself. Okay, so that's on sheet metal. So next to the assembly modeling, let's see if we have any questions. Nope, looks good. Okay, so on assembly modeling, so the improvement on assembly modeling. Okay, so the mirror functionality in the assembly environment has been enhanced a little bit here and there. So previously it was possible to mirror the source assembly or geometry, right? So now what you can do is now it's possible to select an option to mirror both the geometry and also the positions of the source component. Okay, additionally, the target mirror component maintained associatively, so changes made to the source component are reflected in the target component. So if we mirror it, so now the mirrored and target also changes. Okay, so now let's talk about model states. Okay, so they have been many enhancements have been made to the model states in this release of Inventor. So including the new browser menus. So if you see the browser menus, okay, it looks a little bit different, a little bit more enhanced. Okay, so the enhanced model state workflow now includes the ability to edit multiple selected model states, share or break shared BOM relationships, edit in the table editor, enhance robustness, and zero quantity of BOM items. Okay, so this enhanced and simplified browser also are now grouped in the browser in the representations. Okay, if previously it's on separate, but now it's under representations. Okay. So you can see that there is this blue dot indicator. Okay, so this blue dot indicator will shows that changes. Okay, so a new height blue dot indicator added to the this is so-called the hamburger. Okay, menu, for instance, browser node that are being tracked in the model states or iPad assembly. So you can see like whenever you create iPads or iAssemblies, so you can see that there are things hidden here, means they are hide. So the blue dots are only displayed at the root assembly instance level. Okay. And then under content center updates, okay, so you can define local and shared favorites of your content center. You can configure your search now. So you can also override physical properties. Plus, you can define your own thread properties. Assembly feature pattern in auto drop. So if previously auto drop, we are unable to do pattern, but now we can do pattern whenever we use auto drop of our content center into the assembly. Okay, relationships and trade designations. Now the trade designation you can specify under bolted connections here. Chip and pipes. Okay, this is something good. So you can now define your ASCII whenever you use chip and pipe. Previously, whenever you want to get an isogen, so you need to specify your ASCII separately. Now you can do it in the dialog box. Okay, custom key can now be used for tube and pipe authoring. So this is the latest update in 2026. So in addition to the ASCII, you can now define your own ASCII values. So if you want to use the predefined or you want to create your own, you can do it from the dialog box. Okay, so the pipe authoring dialog box has been changed to editable combo box, so allowing you to specify your own values. Isogen output file display the ASCII value defined in the tube and pipe authoring dialog box. So now the ASCII value is defined in the isogen output. Whenever you create an isogen, the user ASCII will be there. Okay, so in terms of drawings, so if previously there was no way to control the location of break in drawing view, so now we can control the break. I mean the break lines, right? So previously it's like randomly put. Now you can specify from, let's say, from left how much, from right how much. So you can control that now. Okay, and then broken view, you can control your broken view, whether use jagged, hidden lines. Because that's on break view and the break line. Okay, so this is more towards the linear and angular sum. So you can create linear and angular sums. Okay, so when there are equally spaced features in your design, you can now define two new dimension types in the drawing, linear sum and angular linear sum. Okay, so like example, this one, okay, the first one is linear or angular. Okay, and then it can create a sum for that, so angular sum. So basically 3 times 30 degrees equals to 90 degrees. Okay, so now this is the new features in terms of dimensionings. And this is something that I like the most, hide items from view. Okay, so now we can just do it with using keyboard shortcut alternate V to hide components in the drawings. Okay, for whatever reason we need to hide that component, we can do it on the spot by selecting and alternate V. So if previously there are multiple steps, probably we need to select and right click, hide, or maybe click and then go to the browser and hide. But now we can just click and alternate V, it will hide. So this is very, very helpful. Okay, so next point is we'll be talking about interoperability. So the interoperability that is being shown, okay, that is being focused for this release is the Revit interoperability. Okay, so Inventor and Revit since 24 and 25, like that. So there's been a lot of trying and experiment to make sure that the interoperability between the two platforms are stable. Okay, so now whenever we want to, whenever let's say in a bill of materials, so now there are new column which is called Revit category. If you can see on the image here, so there is Revit category. So basically this Revit category will also align back whenever, let's say, you want to send this components or send this product as Revit family example. All right, so you already have the category in. All right, okay, you can see the Revit category that is available and the image on the left hand side here. So all the air terminals, bearings, curtain panels, conduit, electrical equipment, so all is available there. Okay, so if previously we need to, whenever we create BIM content, we need to specify category, but also not much category or not much information, but now we have a lot more. Okay, and then the updates on the BIM content ribbon. So BIM content ribbon, if in case you're not aware of, so BIM content ribbon is used to export your Inventor files in a way to make it RFA files, Revit family file, or the IFC files. Okay, so basically we need to specify the orientations, the insertion points, the origins, what is the information we are sharing, okay, to the Revit consumers. Okay, so this is the new information, so the new things. Okay, we even have the Revit origin placement, so we can align the placement with the Revit origin files. So it's either we can ask for the Revit point of origins. They can give it as a template file. We can use it as reference, or we can just let them specify. Okay, here is an example. Okay, so that's the Revit interoperability with Inventor. So we can now import Revit file as the origin templates if you want to make sure that our products, our machines are all aligned with the project sites. Okay, also, now we have the options to save the versions to IFC4. Okay, what's the differences between IFC4 and IFC2? This one you need to Google yourself, okay, to see the differences. Okay, assembly annotation. So if you are someone who are working with electromechanical, so you can see that the support of export of assembly annotation to JT step with PMI are not supported. Assembly annotation are exported with semantic data. Semantic data are not supported for trade notes and welding 3D annotations. Only top level assemblies are exported. Okay, support for the import of assembly annotation PMI from JT or step are accepted. Okay, this is assembly annotation. Okay, so this is where it's not really new in this 2026 versions. I think this started back in, if I'm not mistaken, late 2024 versions or 2025 versions, where informed design has been introduced. Okay, so basically is what informed design is. Okay, so if previously we have BIM content where we can send our Inventor file to Revit as RFA files, IFC file, and then we have the capability to save or export our assembly to RVT files. But now, okay, so sorry, let me rephrase that. So, but all that we do, all that things that I said earlier, is just sending a copy of your products to your Revit colleagues. Okay, so what happened is, if let's say your products have automation, I mean the design automation into it, I mean you have iLogic built into your products. You have variety of sizes and variations of specifications. So you can change size, you can change specs on the fly because you have design automation or iLogic implemented. What you can do is, with informed design, you can send your products with all that specifications, with that automation, variation of size and everything to them, so they can figure out themselves which standard or which specification they want to use. So in a way, it reduced a lot of miscommunications, okay, rework, and sending files in and out. Okay, because they have access to the automation files as well. All right, so let's see. Okay, export RFA from Inventor. Okay, contention. Okay, so but for this particular features, it required ACC. Okay, so both sides need to have ACC or Autodesk Construction Cloud as a bridge. Okay, let's see further. So Autodesk Informed Designs enables architect to work with customizable, predefined building products, ensuring valid result while allowing manufacturer to share their product with design shareholders. Okay,